on this episode of The Tripod.
Oh. Hi, Susie.
Hello, Susie. Hi, Susie.
Hey, Susie.
How you doing?
Sean, down boy.
Hey, Suze.
Susie is a great name, I'm just saying.
Any Susies.
Susie and
Give us a
Sean.
shout.
Bit of alliteration there.
Look at the cheeky little grin on his face.
Welcome to The Tripod.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 60 of The Tripod. Episode 60. Lads, 60 episodes.
60 episodes. Baby, we done it.
How did anyone let us on the air for 60?
60?
That's what I'm asking the question of.
Like, that's amazing. When you think like that's a lot of episodes. I don't think I've ever committed to anything for this length of time ever. So
to be fair, you haven't really committed to us yet. Like, you turn up every week. But.
I do. I'm here all the time.
Kevin put together a splendid Google Doc for this episode, and it almost brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, I mean, what's rare is wonderful.
There was almost an element of organisation and planning, which
I mean,
has been unheard of.
I thought I'd go all out and just, try to do something other than talk for once.
I appreciate that.
You're most welcome. Well, try.
Can this be like a,
calm down now, Sean. Like, relax. Like, don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he can't run before he learns to walk.
Exactly.
The minute he's crawling, so we'll get him up there. So get the first steps in soon.
It is indeed. I love you too. And you, Ronan. I love you all. Lads, episode 60. Every 10 episodes, we have a glorious Q&A. Do we do what's the story with your week, or will we just go straight into it?
Just jump in, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
We have.
I haven't been doing anything. So
we have
in terms of photography,
action-packed episode. I mean,
yes,
the questions we got, phenomenal. We're gonna start with our very good friend, Vinny LaRusso. Vinny, who is Holo Photo. I don't know if I got that right.
Holo Photo. Vinny currently lives in Maui in Hawaii, and he is a fantastic listener and supporter of the podcast. So he's basically, he could have provided this whole episode by himself with this. So we'll try to get through it really quickly, all right? Lads, he gave us some fun, quick questions. First of all, some quick photo questions, and then would you rather shoot? And then we go into some serious questions, right? So there's lots here. So first thing that comes to your head, we'll go with that. We'll go in the order of alphabetized. So Ronan and then Sean. Kevin, Ronan, Sean even. I forgot I was also answering the questions. Right, so fun, quick fire questions. Barry's or Lions? I'll go Lions.
Lions.
Oh, nice. Guinness or Murphy's? Well,
Guinness.
That's obvious. Guinness. But Murphy's has a place.
Murphy's is nice,
but
in Cork, outside of Cork, Murphy's does not travel.
Agreed. Agreed wholeheartedly. Tato, cheese and onion, or Hunky Dory's cheddar cheese and spring onion?
Ooh.
None.
Ooh.
Rotten.
Controversial already.
Nah.
I'm going Tato, cheese and onion. They're a staple of our society, of our country, and of our culture.
Smoky bacon.
Yeah, smoky bacon.
I'll allow it, but mental. Hobnobs or Cadbury's digestives?
Hobnobs.
Yeah, I got hobnobs too. Gives you a bit more je ne sais quoi. You know what I mean? Yeah. Orange Penguin Bar or Jaffa Cakes?
Jaffa Cakes.
Orange Penguin Bar. No way. Me and Sean are going to have our first bite.
Yes, finally. I would go Jaffa Cakes for taste, but I do love an old joke from a Penguin Bar. So, listeners, if you have any Penguin Bar jokes, send them in.
I've never heard of an Orange Penguin Bar. I didn't know it exists.
Yeah, back in the lunchbox days. Surely to God you would have known that, no?
Yeah, I had a lunchbox as well. Yeah. I never had an Orange Penguin Bar though. Never had a Jaffa Cake either. And for that, I didn't get sent to school with biscuits.
Your parents cared for you? What?
What is this?
Right, twirl or flake? I don't really care, to be honest.
I don't eat them unless they're in a 99, so.
Flake. Yeah, that's a good show. Yeah, all right.
Quick photo questions. Wired shutter release or a timer, a countdown timer?
Both. I use both. If I couldn't be bothered looking for my shutter release, I just stick on the timer. But
the timers, timers are more intuitive on the newer cameras as well. Because my old D5200, you had to like fly into a menu to go and turn it on, and it could only be a 10-second timer. You couldn't even change that.
Oh, really?
Now you can set like a 1 second shutter delay with a 2-second timer, and like
and you can also set the number of shots you want to take after the timer.
That too.
Yeah. Let's go timer. I think
I'd go timer as well.
Some money. Yeah.
Because also, Ronan, you taught me this. If you've got like a wired shutter and it potentially could cause a small bit of movement.
Yeah, so if you're pulling out of it or it's swinging in the wind, or
that's exactly. True. So you might want to avoid that. This was actually, so I saw this one earlier on and I found this really interesting. Have you ever used built-in flash on your camera?
Yes.
Only as a trigger for my off-camera flash.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but, okay. So like, but is there a use for it without having an external flash?
No.
Like, it's very strange. Like I was thinking about this when I saw the question come in. I was like, like, has anyone ever achieved anything useful? Because I guilty as charged. When I first got my camera, I used it for a while. Like I literally knew nothing. And if it was a bit darker, I'd use it. And, red eyes and all that crack. Horrendous.
I don't know a whole lot about flash, but no, on-camera flash, it's directly into your face. It's just like, no, it's not nice. It doesn't flatter anyone. Like
nobody ever.
Sure, the new cameras don't even have it. Like it's been removed from cameras for a reason. But I do miss that the trigger for the off-camera flash. Like the Z6, it has a built-in wireless trigger, but it doesn't really work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't properly played with it yet now, but I couldn't trigger my flashes on the Z6, so I had to use the D750 because that has a pop-up flash.
Yep.
And you can actually turn the flash off and just use it as a trigger. So like it doesn't even add to the light in the scene, it just triggers the other ones.
Oh,
so
that's
that
handy.
was handy with pop-up flash,
Yeah. Okay, next, the next section is: would you rather shoot Fanet or Hook Lighthouse?
Hook.
I'll go Hook.
Fanet.
Yeah, of course.
Fanet is stunning. Fanet. There's more to shoot at Fanet.
Slieve League or Cliffs of Moher? I'll go Cliffs of Moher because I've never been. I mean, I've never been to Slieve League either, but Cliffs of Moher it's on the list.
I'm going to be awkward and say Slieve League, but not the tourist spot where we see all the influencers take their selfies. If you walk up beyond the headline, there's much nicer things to be seen than the regular Slieve League.
I was just about to say that you only ever see one composition of Slieve League, so I'd probably want to shoot that to find something different. So there you go.
So much more there. Yeah.
Torque or Powers Court Waterfall?
Ooh, Powers Court.
I'd say Torque for me. Probably because Powers Court's on my doorstep, but I don't know. I think Torque is just a bit more. I think it's more photogenic, Well, is that?
I think
there's one composition of Torque that you always see. Like
there's only
you see one of Powers Court as well. Like it's
No, I disagree. There really is. In order to shoot a good photo of Torque, you can only shoot one composition. The typical one we all see every day. I've taken off my shoes. I've gotten into the pool. Like I've climbed up through Torque and gotten into the pool, like just below it, and I shot it. And it looks a bit nicer, but it's still the same. Whereas Powers Court, between you, Ronan, and Mark McGuire, you've shown me. And who else? Someone else took a lovely photo of it. Was it Nathan Photography? Nathan, what's Nathan's second name? Another lad, he took a lovely photo of it. And it's just like, there's so many different angles you can take of Park. You could hike around up to the left and get a bit higher. You can go to the left of it, you can look to the right of it as you're walking down the path.
Yeah.
Powers Court all day.
Yeah, no, you're actually right, because
more impressive
does
waterfall.
only have that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's Ireland's highest consistently damp cliff.
You're consistently damp, Cliff.
Excuse me.
Wow. Okay. Next question, please. Image I want to make.
The Great Blasket or Inishmore? I'm going to go with Inishmore because Dermot Kennedy's video for Ireland Fires and Family was shot there, and yeah, I kind of like him a little bit.
Would be the Blasket for me.
Yeah, Blasket.
Okay.
Yeah.
UNESCO World Heritage Sites Skellig Michael or Brú na Bunny. Now I probably pronounced that terribly, so
Boina, I'd say. Yeah, it's probably Boina.
Yeah. Brú na Boina, just for anyone listening. Purists.
Skelligs has that bit of Star Wars about it now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Skelligs is quite special.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to go for the Skelligs just for the drone photography opportunities alone, I think.
Nice. I'll go Skelligs too, as long as I can come with both of you.
Enjoyed them.
We're not going anymore.
Goodness sake. Right, now on to his serious question. So Vinny has said, which three counties...
None of them serious questions, no?
Are we still on?
Vinny is the episode. Vinny's unbelievable. He's been planning this since episode, I think, 45 or something.
Let's keep going.
Right, so which three counties, one from each of you in Ireland, are the most underrated or unexplored as far as landscape photography is concerned?
Oh my God, that's a good question.
I feel like, okay. Do you want to elaborate on it a bit more, or you kind of just Wicklow?
I think Wicklow has so much that hasn't been found. Like Cluno, Glen, Ballygannon, there's piles of places in Wicklow that people go for walks, but photographers don't go. But I have a Wicklow bias, so I'll say Wexford because it's near Wicklow.
Because it's really close.
Yeah. No, but Wexford is actually ridiculously
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Eden Vale and Hook and there's so many little things in Wexford, like the Saltees as well with the puffins and all that kind of thing. Wexford's extremely underrated.
Big time.
You could actually see when we ran the All Ireland, a couple of counties, there were some locations came in off the beaten track that were unbelievable, and we kind of had to go and check were they actually in those counties. So there is a lot of hidden gems still everywhere.
Yeah, correct.
Shawnee, do you want to give us an answer?
I have a county in my head, but I don't want to say because I don't want people flocking to it.
Kind of defeats the purpose of the question.
Yeah, it does. Do you know what? Funny enough, lads, just from a woodland and kind of general landscape point of view, I'm going to say Carlow. Carlow really impressed me during the All Ireland. A couple of images that came out of Carlow. There was some beautiful, just countryside, almost Tuscany kind of esque countryside kind of scenes, So yeah, Mayo was the other county. I was going to say Mayo.
Okay, I'll say Mayo, so because I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah, just for landscape, I was like, so
yeah, for people listening, there's a lot more to Mayo than Downpatrick Head and the sea stack at Dunbreach. That's all I'll say. There's so much more to Mayo than that. But just stay away from Mayo. You don't have to see it. It's okay.
I bet you Rory O'Donnell paid you to say that to keep people out of Donegal.
He did.
I was going to say Donegal.
I actually saw the Revolut transactions coming through.
Rory, he would have my head if I said Donegal. So he would. Great question. That's a tough one though.
Vinny, thank you so much. We've actually come to the end of the Vinny section of the podcast. Vinny, you are a gentleman. And he says here, we'll be losing a loyal listener from Maui, but not because he's not going to listen to us anymore, because they're moving and traveling for the next 8 to 12 months. So our Maui listener is gone, but hopefully he'll be tuning in from other random places throughout the world. Vinny, you're a legend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vinny.
Okay. Ronan, do you want to play one of the voice notes?
Oh boy, would I?
Yeah, you would.
You think I would have been ready for this?
It's all good. We got plenty to go through here. This is glorious, by the way.
I'm so impressed at how our listeners come up with these every time.
Oh, yeah, lads. Have you ever been interested in getting into film photography? Also, Kevin, how's the Z50 I sold you holding up?
So that's P. Doyle Media. P. Doyle Media, strangely enough, sold me the Z50 that I bought. And yeah, so we didn't know, like, it was only kind of after the fact. So the purchase had been made. We had a little chat, and then it was like, oh, I do a podcast. He's like, oh, what's it called? It's the Tripod. He's like, oh, I listen to that. It's like, oh, give us a hug. Oh, no, wait, we're socially distancing.
It's a discount.
Yes, damn it. I should have went for a discount instead of a hug. So, film photography. Personally, it's not appealed to me just yet. I do feel it's something I will go to kind of down the line. Like, I'll never rule it out, and I feel it could be very interesting, but it's not like on the roadmap for me.
I learned on film, and
did you?
Yeah, I think it's in terms of developing your own black and white film and then printing it in the darkroom and stuff like that. It teaches you the technicalities of camera exposure and how it actually works, which applies to digital. So it's no harm to do film, to actually learn the intricacies of it and like how burnt out highlights actually work and stuff like that from the film days, because it all applies now to the histogram and all that kind of crack. So yeah, it's good fun as well. Like, knowing it makes you focus in on your settings and stuff, because you know you have to nail it.
Well, it's like, I mean, if you think about the time we had Ben Horn on the episode, dear God, talk about an absolute purist and perfectionist.
That was episode 4.
That's insane. Like, that was over a year ago. Like, over a year ago.
On episode 4. Wow.
Episode 4, yeah.
We were punching above our weight early days, weren't we? Yeah. Lucy, Ben, like, dear God.
The draw for me, just to round off this question, for film photography would be purely just to get me so tuned into like the fine art of photography, as in like the technicalities almost. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I can't just take a picture here and delete. It's not digital, like, you know, like really tunes you into composition and light and everything. So I think it would make you a fantastic photographer. I think it would actually almost, it'd be a great thing to do after becoming a good digital photographer, because it would make you appreciate the digital world almost.
Yeah.
And the convenience of it, like, you know. So, yeah, good question.
Glorious question. We love it. We love this. Right. So, next up, Phelan's Photos. What a man.
This fella again. Jesus.
What a man. He's the United fan, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
We don't really like them too much.
Do we want to read out his question?
No, let's go to the next. I'm only joking. We will. Do photographers take photos, or do they make photographs at this moment in time with digital editing and all that? And does this affect the way in which you trust what you see in a photograph? I have severe trust issues when it comes to photography, but also I just enjoy the art for the art from what I see. I don't look at a photo and say, oh, that hasn't been edited, or that hasn't been touched, or that sky hasn't been added as a separate sky. Or we just go, this piece that I'm looking at looks lovely. And for me, that's how I'd go.
No. You okay, Kev?
Yeah.
No. It sounded like you were getting a bit emotional at the end there.
Just like photos, man.
With your trust issues. I can tend to spot it. Like, for me, I'm one of the people who gives people trust issues, because my style of shooting isn't one shot out of the camera these days. So, like, anyone who would say someone tried to go and copy one of my photos, they'd never be able to get it the same as I had it, because of my technique, what I do in the field. Like, so that for me isn't really down to the editing, but I see what he's getting at, because there is some people who, like, I used to do it. I've been quite open saying I used to just go out and shoot the picture and be like, grand, I can edit that later, and I'd go home and absolutely crucify it in Photoshop. Like, so that's kind of where the trust issues come in. So I was making the photo, but with my new technique, I take multiple photos and make one photo out of multiple photos, which is still taking a photo.
Yeah. You're also still making a photo though, so you're kind of doing both.
What are you accusing me of, Phelan's Photos? What are you accusing me of?
Shawnee, you'd be kind of you'd make photos too to an extent, wouldn't you?
Correct.
If that's the
true exposure blending and whatnot. Yeah, absolutely. I think what Steve is kind of more hinting at is kind of, are we really entering a digital art phase as opposed to a photography kind of phase? You know. It's interesting. Does this affect the way, I love this, does this affect the way in which you trust what you see in a photograph? Not so much what I trust, but I can now call out the bullshit. Like, I can spot it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Sure, Sean,
I know.
Sorry, I put a sky replacement in a photo one day and you called me out straight away. Like, immediately.
Yeah, I copped straight away. Like,
you're like, that's not real. I was like, all right, cheers, bud. He's like, it's lovely. It's like, it's lovely, but it's not real. I'm like,
and I was right, wasn't I?
100%.
Yeah. So like, the more you get proficient in Photoshop and post-processing, the more you can spot when a scene isn't technically real. No, that's digital art. That's that side of thing. For me, like in terms of exposure blending and all that, that's a combination of taking and creating a photograph. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you create a photograph, you're not necessarily faking anything. You're just using techniques at your disposal in order to basically make what your human eye sees. You know, you're basically, you're allowing, or you're making up for the fact that a camera doesn't have the same whatever dynamic range as a human eye does or whatever. You know, obviously sky replacement and composites are a whole different kettle of fish, and that's a digital art phase.
That's
so I think in terms of what you trust in a photograph, you can spot it. Like, you know, you can spot it, and you won't be let down. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like, so before people used to say, "Oh, geez, how do I do that?" Like, I could never achieve that. Well, you can't achieve that because that person has focal blended and replaced the sky and probably added in light that wasn't even there in the first place.
Yeah, or added in birds, which I used to do back in the day. Or
light rays. The best one is the light rays in the woodland. Okay.
Yeah.
People, you will never get light rays in a woodland unless there is fog or some sort of haze present, in order to diffuse that light coming through the trees. If there is no fog in the scene and you see light rays coming through, those light rays have been added artificially. There you go. There's a nice bit of knowledge. So
that is a truth bomb right there. I love it, Shawnee.
Getting angry.
To be honest, that fits in nicely what you've said there to our next question from Luke Kenny. In Lightroom, you can HDR merge multiple images. What's your take on this setting in comparison to exposure blending via Photoshop? So I've never exposure blended in Photoshop. I have used the HDR, which I really do like the look of. But I suppose if you're comparing the two, lads, what are your thoughts on that one?
I just had this question in the workshop Zoom I did before recording this podcast.
Oh, lovely.
And for me, it's quite a simple breakdown. With exposure blending, like, you're taking the shots that are at the 3 different dynamic ranges and you're in full control of where you mask what in, be it the luminosity masks or whether you want to manually do it or whatever. But with the HDR file, like, it's a great technique still, but when you're pulling the sliders in Lightroom, you've no control over where the dynamic range goes when you merge those files. So if you pull your highlights all the way down, that's a global adjustment. Like, it's affecting the whole image. Whereas when you're luminosity blending with a luminosity mask, it's specifically targeting your highlights. So you're going to get a much better result if you're blending in a sky or whatever, versus pulling down the highlights on a HDR file, because that'll also affect some highlights not in the sky and the image as a whole, you know? So it's much more accurate doing luminosity blending than it is doing a HDR file.
Daddy. Anything to add to that, Johnny? Are you happy? It's quite lovely.
Yeah, quite happy with that. I done HDR blending in Lightroom years ago, and it was horrendous. But apparently,
has it come on? Or
it has come on. Apparently, it has come on an awful lot, and it actually looks quite natural now.
Yeah, because I'd use that.
I would still advocate for Photoshop in terms you've way more control over the Photoshop exposure blending, and you can make it look even more natural. So I would always bring people toward. And also, when you start to learn how to exposure blend in Photoshop, you're also learning what layer masks and all these different things. Do you know what I mean? You're learning an awful lot more than just exposure blending. So Photoshop all the way.
Deadly. Shawnee, do you want to give us the next question there, bud?
Yeah, brilliant. So Joanna You're one with the camera. That's
such a good username.
Joanna was just on my Zoom and she was telling me about this question, and I've been living for it.
Yeah, that's why I kind of just want to leave you two at this one. Like,
okay, here we go. Okay, gotta shake it out here now. So, hey lads. So here's my question for the next episode, which I hope doesn't get me banned. Already, that's already. I know this is going to be no shade. I've never used a drone, and genuinely wondering: is drone photography real photography? Can anyone with a good drone get a banger of a shot just by sending up a drone in a great location? What skill is involved in terms of photography?
All right, Sean's gone. Bye, Sean.
Are you?
To be fair,
Joanna, like,
look at the shock on his face.
Let it out, Sean. Let it out.
Go on, go nuts.
No, I won't. Ronan,
she's not wrong at all. Like,
next question. No, I'm joking.
I'm also Joanna. I'm absolutely only messing. I'm doing this for a show, but this is an outrageous question. Go on.
No, she's dead right. Like,
no,
people just buy drones. Like, look at Kevin.
Don't.
Absolutely no talent. Flies a drone up in the air, presses a button, and suddenly he's an influencer on social media. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
No, actually, to be fair, right, I disagree. I think you can get an impressive shot because it's a different perspective with a drone. Anyone can, because it's a different perspective we're not used to seeing. But anyone with an eye for a photograph gets spectacular shots with drones. And that's the difference. But I have witnessed firsthand on the Wicklow calendar takeover, Mr. Kevin Hennessy, who forgot the lead to connect his phone to the drone remote control, so he couldn't see where it was flying, and he flew it blindly up into the air and took an absolute banger of the sugarloaf.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true. No idea which way the drone was even looking.
Because the Mini is so small that, like, when it's up in the air, you can't see. You literally can't see anything. But I intentionally, like, I took a shot, spun it a bit, took another one, spun it a bit. So, like, it was half planned-ish. Like,
can I give my input into this question?
Yeah, let's bring it back to the question.
Joanna, I'd like to apologise in advance of this next part from Sean. We
are in no way associated with the next 2 minutes of this podcast.
I don't wholeheartedly disagree with Joanna on this question, right? But I think there was a time before drones were really popular, before a drone was commonplace in a photographer's camera bag, that any aerial image was considered a banger. Any aerial image at all was like, wow, that's good. Like, let's just send this drone up into the sky. Let's point it in that direction and take a photo. Doesn't matter what light, doesn't matter if there's no composition. Wow, that's a photo that I could only see if I was in an airplane. Now, as of the 5th of July 2021, if you want to take very good drone images, you have to have a good composition. You have to have decent light. You have to have a really, really good technical image, the same as you would have to get with a regular camera. And I'm just saying that point blank now. Like, regular drone shots from the air do not do it for me anymore. You have to have some form of unbelievable light or composition or texture, whatever it is. Do you know? It's gone to that stage now. It's almost like how things have evolved, isn't it? Like, before, like, when cameras were so, like, minimal or whatever, like, any camera, didn't matter if, like, do you know what its abilities were. It was great to be able to capture an image.
Yeah, any high resolution photo, maybe you go, wow, look at the detail.
Exactly.
Like, could be anything. It could be like a cigarette ashtray or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, anything.
Whereas now, they're so commonplace that you have to try and do something to up the game. Like, so can't anyone with a good drone get a good banger of a shot just by sending a drone up at a great location? No.
You can get lucky as well, though. I'm going to throw that out. You can get lucky.
Yeah, you can. Of course.
But just on the subject of drones and bangers, Dermot Garland. I don't know if you two lads know him.
Yeah. I don't know him personally, but
he posted a photo last night, and dear God, like it's just gorgeous. It's moody, and his editing style is one of the most unique that I've seen in the country. Like, I don't know if he listens to this show. If not, he should, first of all. But it's so good. So good.
Can I just say, just before we move on to the next one, what skill is involved in terms of photography? Drones would not have the same dynamic range as proper cameras. So if you can pull off a good drone image, like by using exposure blending or shooting directly into the sun or in kind of harsh conditions, then that's quite a bit of skill in that. But Joanna, I absolutely see where you're coming from. I think it's just because drones have become so commonplace now that everyone's just sending them up into the sky. It's kind of like, well, so anyone can do that. Like, and technically, like they're so easy to fly. I mean, Kevin can fly a blindfold and still get it decent.
Yes, exactly. But I think you've harped on about it before, Sean. Like the basics and the rules of photography do still apply. You know,
absolutely, 100%.
Composition is key. It doesn't matter if you're up in the sky or you've got your camera on a tripod in the sea. You know, without composition, it's not a shot. So, like, do keep that in mind, drone flyers, and obey the local rules and all that jazz as well, please. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Exits are located here.
And please pick up your whatever. Ronan, do you want to jump into the next one there, please, sir?
No, because I don't know where we are. Are we going?
Okay, we're going into the
Instagram.
These are the questions that were submitted via Instagram from our lovely, lovely listeners.
Okay, David Guilford is going to get in a lot of trouble because he said, firstly, perfect excuse to go shooting when Mrs. watches Love Island, which... Well,
I'm actually raging that we're missing Love Island.
I was just going to say, if you were Kevin's missus, you'd probably be delighted because he's sitting beside you watching Love Island.
I'm snapping. I actually have it on my phone right here.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. Don't worry.
I would actually have disconnected you from the podcast.
Watching the recoupling and all that. Whoop, whoop. But yes, David, look, any excuse you can take, go for it, man. Go shoot.
David's second question is quite topical.
Which is,
what's your thoughts on Twitter photography? So it's interesting. There seems to be like this murmuration or this like, everyone seems to be flocking to Twitter now. Photographers, anytime I go on Twitter, it's just like,
it's gonna happen.
I'm new here, like or you see guys like, drop your favorite photos below and retweet and all this. So it's kind of like they're all flocking to Twitter now. I don't know why. I think the NFT craze has kind of brought everyone over to Twitter, but
Instagram the other day came out and said that they're pushing the focus to video.
What?
Yeah, that they admitted it. Like they actually admitted that video, is their primary focus because they have to battle TikTok.
Yeah,
like straight up.
Where have I been? I did not hear that at all.
This was going to be a topic for episode 62 that I was going to suggest to us because a couple of people submitted questions about it. So
let's save it for.
We'll save it for 62. So tune back in to episode 62, friends.
Episode 61 has already been recorded, and it is an absolute banger.
It is.
Oh yeah. By the way,
it's an inspirational, lovely episode.
Yeah, one of the best we've ever had. So
because I'm not on it.
We do have a guest. We have a special guest host on that episode too, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, first he stole Wicklow off me. Now he's stealing the tripod off me.
Yep. Grant.carroll.photography. What's one thing that has improved your photography massively?
Learning how a histogram works.
I'm going to go with Ronan Harding Downs.
Oh,
it's true. Yes.
We going no,
absolutely. Now Ronan has been the one thing that has improved my photography most, I'd say. So,
Kev, I thought you were agreeing about histograms.
No, you are the reason.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
What's one thing that has improved your photography massively? Learning how to use Google Earth to find compositions. 100%.
Like that, the commitment you have to that, Sean, even is staggering. Like You literally walk miles and miles in real life. But before you've walked miles and miles in real life, you've walked those miles on Google Earth.
I've been dragging that little yellow man along the road.
The poor lad needs a holiday.
But lads, like the 3D modeling in Google Earth, like it's 3D now, so you can pull and drag and you can see like cliffs and coastal scenes. It's just, it's just,
I just love it. Like
it's game changing.
You are an inspiration, Sean. Jesus, that was, it's been a lot of love right there for you too.
Absolutely.
Let's lower the tone really quickly with a question from Connor Finnegan, the CEO of the Tripod.
Yeah. Who is the way to lower the tone?
Who is the biggest house of the Tripod? You know what I mean.
As in like
6 foot, 17 stone, 100% Wicklow beef. Walks like a cat and hits like a truck. Ladies.
What weight do you think I am in stone?
I'd say 11.
11, yeah.
11. Has to be 11.
12 and a half stone.
Oh, he's big boned. He's a big
He was big and strong. Connor, don't submit questions again, please. We love you, but let's
Thanks for the website.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Speaking of the website, Ronan, do you have an exclusive for us?
Not yet.
No, it doesn't matter.
Jesus Christ.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so Jacko 004, website for a non-pro hoping to earn some money, yes or no? Or is Instagram the way to go? I don't know if Jacko wanted to rhyme that whole question, but I loved it.
Website for a non-pro hoping to earn some dough, yes or no? Is Instagram the way to go? Sorry, that was for TikTok.
Jacko 004. Okay.
We will answer his question now. So, website for a non-pro, hoping to earn some money, yes or no?
Spill the boat and have to row it.
Okay.
Know it, and I don't know it.
If you're hoping to earn some money through you don't need a website to earn money. You can grab clients through Instagram or Facebook if you have a good portfolio. I think we discussed this last week or a week before, and I think it was mentioned. So if you have a good portfolio, you can draw in clients through your social media. Website, it's hard to get it, as in like you can use a website obviously to get clients in terms of they'll handle your payments and bookings and all that. It's just an easy way to do it that way. If you're using like Squarespace or something like that. But in order to get a website up high in the Google search list, it's not easy. Like SEOs it's hard. Like, so I wouldn't be flocking to a website immediately. I don't know. What's your take on that?
Well, I still don't have a website. I also don't make money from photography though. So, yeah, Ronan.
My website is like, it gets loads of views, but like my business page gets like 200, 300 views as well. So it's not specifically the website, it's more about online presence.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to discuss in episode 62. I never texted to the two of you, but we've done 2 episodes now giving out about Instagram. And Instagram have dropped the bomb about moving towards video.
Yep.
So Instagram probably is the best platform still at the minute. But there's also platforms like 500 Pics, Flickr, 1X, and the soon and upcoming Polywork, which is really exciting. So we're going to discuss alternatives to Instagram in episode 62. But website-wise, Squarespace are affordable enough. You can get a discount. They're tough enough to manage and keep up with, so you'd want to be invested time-wise. Will it be an instant moneymaker? No. Again, it comes back to more so like online presence and your social media, and your website is like the splash page people land on. The website won't just become an earner, like. So it's like everything. You have to build everything and grow everything. So
you got to put the work in as well. Yeah, like that's it. It's
you can grow a successful Instagram that will have just as much attraction as a website would, like, in my humble opinion.
Some might say more. You get more eyeballs on Instagram than, like, I'm sure obviously you two lads have websites. Like, I'm sure you'd have more, let's say, likes on one post than you'd have visits to your website in a week, probably.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like the engagement would be higher on an Instagram account, I suppose.
Yeah. In fairness, no. A massive draw to my website are my blogs. A lot of people read, a lot of visitors through the blogs and reading them and stuff. A couple of thousand hits a month, that's a massive. I don't know what it is, but just I really like the website for that. Like to write,
it's because they're gorgeous.
I think it's mainly the predicting the sunrise and sunset one. That's the one that comes up with analytics and it. But yeah, interesting question.
Thank you very much.
That wasn't your question, Kev.
I'm just saying. No, I was.
I'm going to read the next one. Dave Ryan photo.
Thank you, Jacko004. That's okay.
Thank you, Jacko004. Can I weigh before we start, lads? It's just like
you can, yeah.
This is a video. Like this will be in the video, so
no problem. Just bye, Kev. Well, I'm going to continue. Is that okay?
Do you want to pause the recording or?
For the love of Christ.
Dear friends of the tripod, may I be the first to apologize for my vulgar language. Nature calls. And small bladder. Sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. What can I say? So we're back, and we are going to jump because we have a lot more to go through. So we're going to jump straight into these. Okay, Shawnee boy.
Yes.
What is the next question?
So I'm going to go through two questions. Okay. The first one's from Dave Ryan Photo. When the website goes live, will there be things for a community, meetups, downloads, tutorials? Yes.
100%.
Going to be part of the website.
We are not just a podcast anymore. We are a community, all thanks to you listeners. So
in terms of downloads, like what would you like in terms of downloads? Like raw files, do you know what I mean? Like cheat sheets, things like that. Tutorials. We have a YouTube channel. We will be uploading different tutorials as well on different post-processing techniques. Hopefully we would love to try and do a meetup and shoot like a vlog kind of a style thing. That would be a lot of fun. So yeah, the website is going to be jam-packed, Dave. Absolutely. Thanks for that question. The next question from Lens Hood Mishaps. This is Tony. Tony's from Wexford. Tony was on a photography workshop with me a few weeks ago. Gas man, great crack. This is a great question. Final photography. You're allowed to click the shutter one last time. What are you shooting? Ronan?
Nothing. If I don't take that last photo, I will become immortal. So I'd quit photography.
Amazing.
And live forever.
Only you would come up with that answer.
Amazing. Like I was just going to say, like
I was there, like maybe sunset, maybe
Dermot Kennedy at Red Rocks or something. You know what I mean? Like, but
no, probably my kids.
Shooting? That's nice.
Cute.
Yeah.
Provided also that I don't just immediately drop dead in front of them, because that would probably scare them for life.
Yeah, no, maybe just your camera breaks or something. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
One last time. What are you shooting, Kev?
Yeah. Dermot Kennedy at Red Rocks.
Oh.
Why not?
I don't know, Tony. Can't. What are you shooting? It's probably going to be a landscape, obviously. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, probably going to be a landscape. Something really out there, like something really adventurous.
Just do a selfie.
I'm going to say Sherpas in Nepal, because I just mad shoot Nepal. So I'm going to say that.
You can just take a selfie with those beautiful eyes.
Yeah, throw my drone up and blindfolded and just point the camera down.
And just take a photo, because it doesn't take any skill to take any drone.
You can keep cropping it and get like 12 photos out of one photo. It's not a bad shout.
I'm not even going to hook my phone up anymore when I fly my drone, because like, as Joanna says, I can just throw up into the sky and press the button and it'll take a good photograph.
Case in point.
No skill involved in drone photography. Half bitter at all.
I actually love Joanna.
I'm already messing Joanna.
The next one that has come in is from our friend Richie, minimal_Dublin. I'm in a rut, lads. Help. Tripod meetup. First of all, same. I was only thinking today that, like, I was almost just like, what is the point? To an extent. Like, I was like, am I even a photographer anymore? Like, I haven't taken a photo in so bloody long. And I was almost like a crossroads. You know what I mean? I was like, see, I think a lot of this delved from the fact that gig was on yesterday or the day before. I don't even know what day it is anymore. I can't.
Saturday night.
Yeah. And now look, photographers were at a minimum. I knew that as well. But it's just like, oh, for God's sake, it's like another gig, like the first gig, and I wasn't there. I was just like, oh, whatever. What's the point? And then I was thinking back, I haven't actually done any shooting in ages. Anyways, like, am I a photographer? Why am I doing a podcast? But no, I am a photographer and I'm here. But we all go through ruts. We all do, Richie. And tripod meetups, 100%. Now, we don't want to delve too much into it, but Sean and Ronan, a really quick tip when you're in a rut. What do you do?
On Sunday, the 11th at 9 a.m, you go to Crown Woods Car Park and join us on the first Photos for Fitness hike, where we've 6 or 7 people signed up already. So it's a photography meetup with fitness in mind. So yes. Dave Ryan is going, I think. So Richie, you're more than welcome to come along as well. The hike up Crown Woods is a lovely old hike. You don't have to do the whole thing because it's a 9 kilometre one-way hike. So it'll be 9 kilometres and then 9 back. It takes about 2 hours one way as well. So we'll play it by ear on the day, whether we carry on or we just do the Crown Woods bit and photograph Powers Court. But it'll be a meetup anyway. There'll be a load of photographers there. We'll all socially distance and kick the Delta variant in the bum and go take some photographs together. And it'll be a delicious time.
Amazing.
I'm sickened on that around. That'll be really, really cool. Really cool. But we'll have many more. We will have many more. Quick rut. If you're in a rut, I know this sounds obvious, but don't think about the rut, Richie. Generally, when I'm not taking photos, I just don't think about it. At the moment, I have no interest in taking any images, and that's perfectly okay. A time will come when I want to pick the camera back up again, and I'll just leave it happen. Whatever happens, happens.
Lovely.
Make peace with that.
Ronan, take the next few there, please, sir.
Yes, boss. Listening to music while editing, yay or nay? Kevin, this is your realm.
100% for me. Yeah, like all the time, no matter what. If I'm doing a gig, I'll listen to the artist that I have shot. If I'm editing anything else, I'll listen. Generally speaking, like at the moment, all I listen to is Tyler Childers, Dermot Kennedy, or then I'll just put like Sam Fender. So it's really just those three. But yeah, like I listen, like I can't not listen to music. I can't sit in silence and edit photos. Are you mad? It sounds disgusting.
For me, nah. I enjoy the peace and the silence while I'm editing.
What?
Yeah, I listen to music, but it's more like background noise. I find now I listen more to podcasts, to be honest, since we started this podcast. Like,
I should have said that, shouldn't I?
I listened to Blind Boy and a couple of therapy-related podcasts and the Tripod. It was a great podcast to listen to. I genuinely listen back on our episodes. I listened to the Ben Horn one today, episode 4. That's how I knew it was episode 4.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it's funny at the start of the conversation with Ben because there's one bit I had forgotten happened, and it was Sean and Ben were riffing about lockdowns and being like, landscape photographers get to social distance when they're out and about. They should leave us alone. We're all having a good laugh.
I remember that.
Kev just goes, yeah, it's not quite the same for me. I had no gigs. Haven't got to shoot anything really, and it was so depressing, and the mood changed, and like the tension was palpable. You could feel it.
So, sorry, Ben.
I was just like, Kev, like as much as we feel for you, we've Ben Horn here.
Yeah,
like, yeah, you go on, lads. And you were just so depressed. Like,
who would have thought that on episode 4 that I still wouldn't have had a shot? Anyway. Yeah, no, for me, it's music all the way. Like I couldn't imagine not listening to music editing a photo.
So I think, Kev, you're the type of person that you're not comfortable in silence either, are you?
I can't do silence at all.
I know so many people like that where they just have to, like, they're very social people like you are, whereas I'm so comfortable by myself. Silence, no problem. Yeah. Like, so
sounds a bit dodgy, mate. No, I'm joking.
I'm just weird. Yeah, I'm not right in the head. Everyone knows that. I'm going to answer the next question. Okay, Marie H. Kyle Photography. Will England bring it home? No, they won't. Next question.
Actually, can I just touch on one thing? By the time this podcast is out, hopefully England have been knocked out of the Euros.
Yes.
I hope they go on to the final, lads, because for every goal England score, Paddy Power are donating €10,000 to Irish football.
Yeah, so but can they still lose at the final?
They could lose 8-7 and scored 7 goals, and that's 70,000 for Irish football, you know?
Yeah, in fairness, Paddy Power and their marketing ability, sensational.
Yeah, wow. They changed it to come on, you boys in white.
But he actually has a good question. If there was no such thing as editing tools, how would it change your photography? That's a great question.
I think massively. For
me, massively.
Be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, life would be simpler, that's for sure.
It would definitely simplify it, yeah. I wouldn't be able to shoot directly into the sun anymore.
Yeah.
Which is what I like to do.
There'd be a lot more purple in my concert shots as well. There'd be a lot more purple. Yeah, I think it would change things drastically.
But it would make me a better photographer.
Yeah, and what people forget is in the darkroom back in the day, like Ansel Adams used to do sky replacements and dodging and burning and all these things with film negatives. So editing, the question we had earlier is that like editing isn't a new thing. It comes from since the dawn of photography. People have been editing their photographs, like, so it would literally change photography as we know it.
That's amazing. That is amazing. One last question from Marie. If you had to be one of the other tripod hosts for a day, who would you be?
Peter the cat.
Yeah, I'd be Peter the cat who sleeps about 17 hours a day. But if I had to choose one of us three on the screen or one of you two, I couldn't, because you're both equally as amazing and fantastic.
Pick a side, Kev. I know it's Sean.
I just think that myself and yourself are quite similar, and I actually live in the same area. That like I just want to be Sean, so I can.
We're similar. I have like 7 different calendars. I have spreadsheets with organizational tools.
Oh yeah, not that kind of crack. Like I want to be Sean, so I can go shoot in. I just want to shoot Gugan Barra. That's all. Like
you want his figure, which is stop.
I want his beard and Gugan Barra. That's all I want. That's all I want.
You can have both those things anytime you want, Kev.
Thanks, Shawnee.
Wow. I don't know why I lowered my tone there.
So, Sean, do you want to be me or Ronan?
That's a good question. I want to be Kevin because I've never shot a gig and I have shot a wedding. So, there you go.
You just wouldn't be able to handle being me anyway. The two of you fall apart if you went through what I went through.
Yes, that's true. That is very accurate, yes.
Yeah, I would like your strength, Ronan. 100%, I would love that.
Kevin, do you know what? I would love to be you because you're one of those people that I know that you just happy out, coast through life, just like, yeah, things are good. Nothing bothers you.
To this.
Nothing bothers you, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Thanks, Shawnee. Darren Murphy photo, tips for shooting pano landscapes. How many shots is too many?
3 or 4 is enough. That's all you need. Depends on the scene, like, but I wouldn't go mad.
Yeah. The more shots you take, Darren, the more like especially if it's a landscape, like it'll just be like a thin strip on the right, so like you literally can't see any details. It's just like a thin strip, like, whereas you're shooting a vertical pano, like 3-4
Here's images. A 74 shot pano.
Yeah. 3-4 images and you still have lots of nice room to crop and you'll still get a really nice detailed shot. So yeah, 3-4.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the more you take as well, the more distortion you'll get in when you blend them, because the more you've rotated your camera, the more pincushion effect you'll get on the side. So it'll begin to taper off around the edges. And if you're shooting a landscape panorama, put your camera in portrait mode. And if you're shooting a vertical panorama, put your camera in landscape mode. It's counterintuitive, but you'll get more bang for your buck in terms of sensor coverage. So,
dear God, Ronan Harden Downs, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I mean, come on. Where else would you get it?
Wicklow's most eligible bachelor.
And intelligent. We're going to fly through a few more here really quickly. Well, I say fly through, but we've got loads. And staff design. Anyone with a drone think they're a photographer now? We kind of covered that really. And do you think they undermine photography skills? No. Joanna _G_5. What is your biggest photography challenge?
Treat Ant with a little bit more respect there, please. He submitted a question and I know we answered it earlier, but Ant is lovely.
Ant, we love you.
Yeah, we didn't mean to dismiss your question there.
You're very talented and we're big
drone
fans.
Photographers are not.
Anyone with a drone think they're a photographer now. Do you think they undermine photography skills? No, they don't, because as I said, to take a good drone image, you still have to have photography skill, and you still have to have user composition and learn how light influences the landscape. So, yeah, no, they don't undermine photography skills, but I know what you're saying. Maybe they do because so many people have them now, and so many kind of amateurs have them, and they just send them up and just use them. Like, people who aren't into photography.
Amateurs, they fly them blindfolded and take bangers of the sugar loaf.
There's a whole episode on that question.
Honestly, 100%, and we will delve into that further.
Yeah.
Joanna _G_5. What was your biggest photography challenge? I would say COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staying original and creative. I'm still challenged with that every day. Staying original is the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah, I think staying motivated, I would say, is the biggest photography challenge, especially because it's my job now. So
yes,
like, I don't want to shoot so much that I burn out and lose the love of it. But like, I see COVID as the greatest thing that ever happened to my business. I ended up as a finalist in the Weddings Online Awards for Photographer of the Year and Newcomer of the Year. And all I did was reply to emails all year. So COVID was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, staying motivated, I would say.
Nice.
Really?
For me, COVID just ruined everything. So, they're on the way back. It's all good. Hugh H95, favorite thing to listen to on the way to a location? Well, you're listening to it now if you hear this.
Yeah.
It is the tripod.
I often do listen to us on the way to take photographs. Yeah.
Or Tyler Childers, who I'm a big fan of these days.
Yeah. J. Canning.
This is a great question. Sean, take it away.
Do you guys have a comfort? So this is from Jerry Canning. Do you guys have a comfort blanket spot for pictures? A comfort blanket spot for pictures?
Can I guess both of yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we know Roland's is definitely going to be Glendalough. Has to be. Has to be.
Well,
I'll fight you.
Now, guess again.
I'm all out.
Where did I go when I was sending you those voice notes to 2 years?
Oh, Wicklow?
Loch Tay.
Loch Tay.
Yeah. Loch Tay is where I go to ground myself. I love it up there. That's my comfort blanket spot.
Nice. Sean, I don't know. I haven't a clue. I'm going to choose Glendalough. That's.
I don't have, like, what do you mean? Like a comfort blanket, as in like you just go back there because you know you're going to get a good image, is it? Or
yeah, like where's your.
Because you just enjoy being there.
Your go to place, like almost like as if you're. It's like, I need to shoot something, or I want to shoot something, or I just want to go here because I love this place.
There's a little fishing hut on one of the Ballyhinch lakes here in Connemara. I love that. Really do. That's probably it. Yeah, our Pine Island is good as well. I mean, just Pine Island is always nice, but it's just overshot. You see that question creates a real inner conflict in me without getting too much into it, because I don't like going back to a spot often where I know I'm just going to get a photo I've taken loads of times. So, yeah, interesting question. AH Photos, full watermark through images on portfolio website or none in terms of protecting from being robbed. So whatever coding you have in your website or view Squarespace, you can disable right click so your images can't be robbed. And also, I would highly recommend, if you are uploading images to your website, upload just small file, like high res, but with small file sizes. There's nothing worse than going onto a website, and if you have any way a slow connection, it'll take ages to load the images.
Yeah.
Whereas all the images on my website are like really tiny file size. They're not even like a meg in size, but they look fine to view them on a screen. Do you know what I mean? So if someone robs them, best of luck. You're not going to do anything with them.
Yeah, you know? Good luck, Sonny Jim.
Print them onto like a postcard size and they'll be pixelated mess. So best of luck.
Nice, solid advice, Johnny.
If you change the resolution, excuse me, if you change the resolution of your images to like 1080 is the widest any phone screen will go, and most websites are built to load on mobile now. So like they load at 1080. So keep your images at like 700 pixels on the long edge and 72 pixels per inch, because that's all that any screen can display. And if you tried to print that file, it wouldn't even print 6x4. Like, it would be unprintable. It would be horrendous. But when you're viewing it on web, it looks absolutely grand. The other thing you can do, as Sean says, disable the right click, and then when you export it from Lightroom, change the metadata to have your name and your website link in it, which is an overlooked thing in Lightroom.
Yes, absolutely.
You can embed all of that information in the file. So if someone does take it, like your name's on it, and if they share it somewhere, your name will be associated with it.
You can prove that
too and whatnot.
Yeah. I actually got given out to before because I didn't know that. And Danny Ronan, who works in Hot Press, was like, why don't you just use the metadata option in Lightroom? I was like, I didn't know, but I'll do it now. Thank you. And you can actually set it as a default as well, can't you?
Yeah, you can set it up on like a preset almost with your details.
Yeah, so it's very handy. Stuart Hayes, when's the first inaugural Tripod get-together? I suppose there's an unofficial one on Sunday.
July 11th.
Which is
an official one.
Yeah, but it's not like a Tripod, you know. Okay, there's an official one on Sunday, Stuart.
Cape won't be there because he doesn't want to lose weight. Is that what it is? Us fat fuckers, so it's unofficial.
Ronan, time again. What time is it on it?
9 a.m. Crown Woods,
Jesus,
Wicklow.
9 a.m. Wow.
Shawnee, come up. Come on.
No, I have my friend's birthday party in Meath that Saturday night.
That's really
why.
Oh yeah.
I'm not around.
So what you should do is have some orange juice at the party, and then
this is
one of our listeners will pick you up from Meath and drop you to somewhere in Wicklow.
No, because I have to go back to Galway to work on Sunday, so I need a car. Okay, no, I'll start it. I would love to.
There's going to be loads of these in the future as well. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Loch Owler, the Blessington Greenway. There's that lake in Waterford we're going to do. We could even try and do some over in Connemara and that.
I would love to go over to your side.
Be in Wicklow. So,
like, I'm going to Clare in August for a little weekend away. So, I mean, I could, if there's something nice in Clare, we could even do one in Clare.
Brilliant. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next up, we have another one from David Guilford. What are your thoughts on people requesting one of your images for free? My thoughts are they can go and fuck themselves.
I actually didn't think he was going to say it.
You can beep that one out, obviously.
Just checking if there's any children around.
No, but yeah, no, like, I mean, that's like, Dave, no, like, if it's your auntie or your sister or, you know, whatever. But even at that, like, yeah, you can put it on social media, but you still tag me. You know what I mean? If you want an image to print.
If they're requesting it for free for commercial reasons, then no, good luck and thanks. Bye-bye.
Never, ever, ever.
It's a very straightforward answer there.
Ronan, take one of the next ones there, please, sir.
Dermot Sweeney, what do you find most challenging about photography? Possibly hosting a photography podcast.
Nice.
Because it's so broad. There's so much, there's so many branches in photography that a lot of things you need a guest for, an expert. And there's only so much that we can cover. Like, that's also now the flip side of that. That's one of the things I love about photography, because there's always something new to learn. Like, you never get bored of it. You could never master it. Nobody has ever mastered photography. So while that's challenging, it's also a good thing about photography. If that
Brilliant. Mine is motivation at times because it's such a fleeting thing. You know what I mean? And it's also, I suppose, that boils down to what motivates me to do it. But it comes and goes so often. You know, like literally, I couldn't think of nothing worse than just taking photographs. But also, I sit there and pine over shots that I want to take, and I'm like, do it then. You know what I mean? Like, go and just do it. But I'm like, I can't get up so early. Can't stay out too late. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird one.
It's tough when you have a family and stuff. Like when you have life commitments, you're working a full-time job. Like
because I always think that like I'd love to go up for a sunrise, but I'm like, if I get up for a sunrise, it'll be banjoed by the time work starts. You know what I mean?
For me, it's the hardest part that I find most challenging with photography is actually got nothing to do with taking pictures. It's just the whole mental side of it in terms of, am I still going to be interested in photography? Like, what's going to happen? Like why am I not interested in taking photos at the moment? Do you know what I mean? I just keep questioning myself, like, am I actually interested in photography, or was this just a fad for the last 6 years? Do you know what I mean? Like, I start thinking about things like that. Like,
like 6 years, that was a long time, so I don't think it's a fad, Johnny.
Yeah, no, it's not a fad. It's not a fad, but it's I just think too much about it. Do you know what I mean? I just think too much.
It can happen, especially when you're left with when you're not doing it, you're probably thinking about it more as well.
Yeah.
And you're thinking you're like, I'm not photographing again tonight. Do I like it? Like, so every night that you don't, you're like, you'd probably still think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once I have a focus, I don't mind. Doesn't matter what it is. Once I have a focus.
Yeah. This is a question from Kevin Hennessy Photography. Wait a minute.
What?
I know him. I sent this one in. How do you feel you would fare swapping genres? So if we all had to swap.
At the risk of sounding cocky, I think I'd be okay, because like shooting weddings is similar to concerts, and I shoot landscapes, which is what Sean does. So I think I'd be all right.
I think you'd do quite well. Yeah, if we like turned the wheel and everyone went this way.
I'd have to learn an awful lot about flash for rolling side of things.
Yeah.
An awful lot. I think I would do natural. I would try as much as possible to do natural light weddings if I could, which doesn't really work in Ireland in dark churches, but you know what I mean? I'd struggle big time with flash.
Outside of the churches, I think you'd be grand though.
Yeah. I think I would. I think I'd have a fairly good shot at concept photography.
Yeah. I'd love to have you two on the pit one day. You know that?
Class.
Like, I would love that. It is going to happen. It's going to happen. I suppose I'm quite lucky in that I've dabbled in all of them because I'm a dabbler. So yeah, I don't know, be grand. Weddings, stressful. Like I don't think I'd be a full-time wedding photographer due to the stress and the pressure. And landscape photographer, I don't have the stamina to go climb your mountains. We'll put it that way. You know what I mean? I don't have the get up and go to be a full-time landscape photographer.
It's actually very little mountain climbing landscape. I've done very little.
I know, but you do love a mountain as well, though.
It's lovely note. Yeah.
You were on top of a mountain, Sean.
You do a lot of walking. You do a lot of walking. Next question.
I'm not mad for walking. Ronan, do you want to take the next two questions, which are also the final two questions of this
final two questions.
Fantastic episode, lads? I mean,
we'll just do final question, will we?
Yeah.
Yes.
Submitted by me. Where can we get the t-shirts? Ladies and gentlemen, pull out your mobile phones. Go into your browser and type woo 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 full stop.
Sorry, no, I missed that. Can you say that again?
Woo 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 www.tripod.ie. This probably won't work for Sean now because it's not Thursday when this goes live.
Woo woo woo, as in like www.
It's just a weird way of saying www.
It's just a Roman way of saying.
I actually typed www. That's right.
You know, it takes longer to say www than it does to say World Wide Web. So it's the stupidest abbreviation ever.
It sounds, I think it's the same time.
Similar.
It's difficult to say www. Anyway, listeners, sorry, this is our moment.
Oh yeah.
www.tripod.ie. She's live. She's kicking. She has a journal with blog posts. There'll be tutorials. You can submit your own content to us via email. She has a shop where you can buy the merchandise. You can get the beautiful t-shirts. She has
leggings
and everything.
Bomber jackets.
Crop tops. You name it.
Kids t-shirts. We want to see photos of all of you in our tripod gear.
You can
tripod ambassador t-shirts.
Yeah, tripod ambassador t-shirts. You can get the I was on top of a mountain t-shirt. You can get the Are You Recording t-shirt. You can get the Kevin t-shirt. There's just so much. But the coolest thing, I think, that we'll probably talk about, not next week's episode, because that's 61. Maybe, yeah, we'll come back to this in 62, is Togs and Tails.
Oh,
huge part of the website. Go explore it. Dive into it. Tripod.ie. Get involved. Let us know what you think of the website. And then we'll come back to you in 2 weeks' time to discuss.
Yes, we can't wait. We are really excited about that. And I think it's safe to say the biggest thank you goes out to Conor Finnegan for this.
Absolutely.
I mean,
thank you, Conor.
What a man. What a photographer, first and foremost. If you don't know who Conor Finnegan is, you should. He's a legend. But genuinely, Conor, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts here at the Tripod. We love you. And listeners, we have come to the end of what has been a magnificent, a fantastic, an absolutely sensational episode. Now, seriously, thanks a million. It's been great. We love these. For me, I think each 10 episodes, I love the Q&A questions because kind of you'd think people would run out of questions almost.
You would.
Yeah. But they don't, and they keep coming up trumps, and listeners, we love you for it. So until next week, do tune in. We have one of my favorite episodes to date coming up next week with the fantastic, sensational Emer Collins.
Class.
Like inspirational episode.
It's so good.
Stunning. Let's just leave it at that. It's stunning.
Yes, we'll leave it at that. So listen, stay safe. We'll see you again. Hang on, did I just F up the whole exit of the podcast there?
Yeah, you did. For sure.
Right. Okay, see you next Thursday.
Do you know what's cool about this episode?
Yes.
If you watch it on fast forward, there's a deadly time lapse of the sunset out Sean's window.
I noticed that as well. It's class. I swear to God, because the house was like completely blown out at the start, and then it came into pure focus, and now it's dark. Absolutely amazing. Classic Sean, like just sunsetting, like no matter where he is.
And the gift that keeps on giving.
You are. Okay, folks, listen, we're going to wrap it up there. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all for your questions. Sean, Ronan, thanks for coming on, and we will see you next Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you got it right that time.
Let's talk photography.
And there you have it, folks. Another episode of The Tripod.
If you did enjoy the podcast, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes.
And you can always subscribe to the podcast. And if you want to listen to more episodes, head over to www.tripod.ie, where you can find us on our socials, which include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Okay, Ronan, that's enough.
Be on Snapchat and TikTok. And okay, thanks.